Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan, and this is Forlorn Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, today's video sees us returning to our quick and easy series, and I thought we would do a quick video on how I go about doing flags. Now, I think flags or standards are one of the main visual focal points in miniatures gaming, especially when it comes to historicals, as it kind of gives even more character to the unit and makes them easily identifiable on the tabletop. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on how I go about doing my flags, because I know that when I started out in the historical aspect of miniatures, um, there was very few guides to follow, and I think I would have found a video like this helpful, so I just thought I would put one out there for you guys. Now, for your flagpoles, it doesn't really matter what you use. There are an abundance of plastic kits out there that have precast flagpoles that are attached to hands or arms of the miniatures, and the method that I use works perfectly fine with those as well, but I will be using brass rods or brass pikes for this video because I am doing these as I am working on my all metal Russian army. So I will be adding finals from Warlord Games to finish off the flags as well. Now I apply the finals to the flat end of the pike rather than the leaf head, because I just think the connection is much better doing it that way around, and it also allows me to just trim the pike off to suit when attaching it to the miniature at the end. Now, when it comes to painting, I'm not really going to go into much detail in this video, because depending on what era, what nation, what regiment you're going to be collecting, the flagpoles and finals are going to be a unique colour. So they could be blue, they could be red, black, brown, green, you name it, it's probably out there somewhere. So I'll leave that down to your specific choice and focus more on the flags themselves and applying them. But I will coincidentally be just painting my flagpoles black and with gold finals, just sprucing up a little bit with a wash and shade, and then a couple of dry brushes just to make the finals pop. But that is really the extent of painting for this video. Now, the flags themselves in this video are the Alexopol Regiment from GMB Designs. Now, GMB Designs is a great company that I like to use most of the time. However, the flags that are provided in plastic miniatures boxes, Victrix flag sheets, or even your own made flags off the internet will follow this method perfectly fine just as well. I just like to use GMB designs or flags of war because the level of research and detail that they go into with their flags just gives it that extra bit of character for me. But again, where you source your flags from is entirely up to you. I just cut my flags out using scissors. The GMB ones in particular are great because they often come with little markers that you can cut to kind of keep a straight line. And then once I have cleaned them up, I fold them in half just to kind of make sure that I have nice clean lines and it's symmetrical. Now, when it comes to attaching the flags themselves, I follow two simple steps. The first part is I apply superglue to the flagpole. I then take the pre-folded flag and hook it round the bottom of the flagpole, sliding it up as far as it needs to go before pulling it in tightly and pinching up along the inside of the flag just to give it a good fix to the pole itself and make sure it's nice and tight, whilst leaving it to dry with the two folds just open. Once it has dried, I then apply PVA glue to both sides of the flag flaps, the white side I should say, and I then push the remainder of the flag together, making sure it's nice and tight, just removing any excess glue that seeps out with my fingers or a bit of tissue, and then let it dry slightly before I then kind of scrumple the flag up or fold it over a few times, not really following any set design, but this is just to give it a natural kind of rippled effect that when it dries it will harden nicely in that desired form. Now you can skip the superglue stage and apply the PVA glue all over and then just hook it on, but I find that sometimes that gives you quite a loose fitting because of the extended drying time, and also you can ripple the flag at the end, but I find these folds are a little bit more creased and not as realistic from my own experience. However, there are many people out there that do it that way and have got far better results than I've got, but this is just my personal preference for getting realistic looking flags done quite simply. In an hour sitting I can do a brigade's worth quite easily, painting, gluing, and then attached to the model. Now, if the flags are separate from the miniature, I always add them on to the model once everything else is done, including basing, just because I find that, especially with multi-basing miniatures, the access is quite limited, so having the flags off enables you to just have a little bit more flexibility in how you approach basing. If the flagpoles are moulded on, again I do the flags last, but obviously I'd paint the flagpole as I was painting the miniature. I just use a pair of clippers to cut the flagpole rod to the desired length, often just holding it in front of the miniature itself and kind of eyeballing it. Kind of being quite generous first of all and then just trimming it down a little bit further if necessary. I also use a old paintbrush just to dabble on a tiny bit of superglue to the desired areas so that it doesn't ruin the paintwork that I have already spent a long time doing. And with that, the process is complete and it is time for the end result. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, enjoy your hobby.